From Boston, a city reeling tonight in shock and sadness, really. We are just a few blocks away, just down there from what was the finish line of the Boston Marathon, that magnificent sporting event. And in most years, on this night, these streets, the heart of downtown Boston, would be humming with activity, packed with people celebrating the achievement of the runners, their loved ones coming from all over the world to support them. But tonight, these streets seem frozen in time at that moment this afternoon when two bombs went off at that finish line, wounding more than 140, killing 3 at least, including an 8-year-old. And tonight, the investigation is in full swing. The FBI is in charge. They are pursuing all leads, all of this grim day, a reminder of our country's constant vulnerability to sudden and murderous attack.
The 117th Boston Marathon, one of the world's great sporting events. More than 23,000 started the race, 500,000 spectators along the 26.2-mile course. Boston's is one of the world's 6 major marathons, runners from more than 90 countries. The winner crosses the finish line at 12:10. Then, at 2:50 p.m., more than half the runners were through. The first bomb explodes just a few yards from the finish line. In the chaos, listen for the second explosion, just moments later. Another angle of the second blast as people look down the street at the first.
Something just blew up. Run!
Multiple people down here, okay? I don't know what the cause is. Stand by.
Terror turning the Boston Marathon into a kind of war zone. More than 100 people injured. The youngest victim, an 8-year-old boy killed by one of the blasts.
Oh, God, get out of the stands. Get out of the stands.
All of a sudden, there was a loud noise, an explosion, big puff of smoke, and then a few seconds later, further up the road away from the finish line, a second explosion, large puff of smoke, and then ultimate chaos, everybody running everywhere.
Saw quite a few casualties coming back. I saw one guy with his legs gone at the knees, some ankles and feet missing, shrapnel wounds on people on the sides of the head, and other things. It's just not good.
I had crossed the 26-mile marker, and I saw the first explosion happen, and there was some commotion. I saw fire and smoke, and I didn't know what it was, and then I saw a trash can explode, and people started throwing down the barricade and running over each other, and I ran in the other direction as fast as I could.
Very scary sight. Probably one of the most scary incidences that I've ever been involved with. Very loud. The ground shook. You could just feel it going down through you.
And tonight we're hearing the harrowing stories of survival from those who were just feet from the blasts. Local hospitals quickly mobilized for a mass casualty event, but the chaos continued. At Tufts Medical Center, where 11 victims were taken, a bomb scare forced the evacuation of the emergency room. Patients on stretchers were laid out in the atrium.
What kind of injuries are you seeing here?
They are almost all lower extremity injuries from the knee down, and they're very severe blast injuries with open fractures, severe muscle injuries, nerve, artery injuries.
I had a bad feeling when I saw the smoke, and when I saw, after hearing the noise and then hearing the second one, it's the Boston Marathon. It's one of the world's marathons. It's at the finish line. I suspected it was terrorism.
Rebecca Roach had just finished the race when the bombs went off.
It was a moment of what should have been joy and turned into panic and just heart-wrenching fear of the worst.
She was okay, but her mom and a friend who were there to support her were badly injured.
It makes me feel quite guilty.
Guilty?
Yeah. They wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for me.
Rebecca ran every step of the 26.2 miles with her mom and dad in her heart and written on her legs.
Is there any way to appreciate what you did accomplish today?
Yeah.
It's good.
It was a dream of mine for years, and I finally accomplished it in the time that I wanted to.
The bombs went off just 50 to 100 yards apart. With a number of cameras capturing the blasts, investigators have plenty of evidence to study frame by frame as they hunt for who is responsible. The bombs went off about 4 hours after the start of the race. The average marathon time for male runners is around 4.5 hours. It was ideal marathon weather, and it was Patriots Day in Boston. But by evening, police had replaced the finish line with yellow police tape. On the map of Boylston Street, you can see just how close, less than a block away from where the runners finished the course in triumph, and so many of their loved ones waited.
People should be calm.
Even 2 hours later, investigators seem to be trying to make sense of it all.
We're recommending to people that they stay home, that if they're in hotels in the area, that they return to their rooms. We want to make sure we completely stabilize the situation.
At the White House, President Obama was notified within minutes, and while he was not ready to use the word terrorist, he made this vow.
We will find out who did this. We'll find out why they did this. Any responsible individuals, any responsible groups will feel the full weight of justice. Make no mistake, we will get to the bottom of this.
But tonight, New York Congressman Peter King is more willing to point fingers.
Well, obviously there's nothing definite yet, but it has all the hallmarks, earmarks of a Al-Qaeda type attack. It reminds me very much of what happened in Times Square with Shahzad in 2010. Again, it could end up being someone else, but right now it has all the indicators in every aspect of being a Al-Qaeda or Al-Qaeda affiliated attack.
For Rebecca Roach and all the runners who ran with full hearts and their loved ones who cheered them on, it's all so incomprehensible, so wrong.
I just think it's horrendous. Why? I don't understand. I can't find reason in it.
And so it was a day of heartbreak here in Boston and of heroism. Bruce Mendelson, who is an Army veteran, was right here on the scene and responded. Bruce, tell me where you were. You were right at the finish line.
Yeah, I was at a post-race party at 667 Boylston Street on the 3rd floor of a building. The first explosion, I was sitting on a couch, the first explosion knocked me off the couch onto the ground. I was with my brother who had just finished the marathon, and I yelled at him to get all the people back away from the windows. And so,
then you went down.
So he got all the people back away from the windows towards the back of the building. I ran downstairs to the 1st floor. I came out onto a sheet of glass shards. There were blood smears on the sidewalk. There were people injured with a lot of grievous lower body injuries. And then,
what did you do?
Well, I tried to render what medical assistance I could. I tried to help the Boston PD, which was on the scene in force immediately. I tried to help them establish a security cordon so there wouldn't be any tertiary or other explosions detonated. Yeah.
It sounds like your instincts took over there, your training.
Well, I guess I could thank the United States Army for that, but I think I did what anybody else would do. Wrong place, right time.
How did it affect you, seeing that as you came out of that?
This is terrible. I mean, this is terrible. I'm upset. I mean, normally on a marathon night, this place should be full with people. Bars are open, people happy and festive, and this beautiful day blew up in a second, in a heartbeat. And to see what we've seen today, it just makes me so angry. I'm angry.
And you were responding to people injured by the blasts. What kind of injuries did you see?
I saw a lot of lower body injuries.
That's what we're hearing.
Yeah, it leads me to believe that the devices were at or near ground level. I was trying to help for about 15 minutes. Then the law enforcement officers invited me to leave, as I should have. I mean, this is not my bailiwick. It's not my area of expertise. I left, picked up my brother, and we walked back across the Mass Ave Bridge with thousands of other people. It looked very much like 9/11.
And people are calling you a hero, too.
Well, they should. I mean, I did what anybody else should do in these circumstances. We're a resilient people, and this is what we should do to respond.
Bruce Mendelson, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.